Xin chào tất cả các bạn, lại tiếp tục series học tiếng Anh cùng cô Hải Yến. Thì tiếp tục với bài học ngày hôm nay chúng ta sẽ học Unit 35 Conversation. Thì với phần 1 thì cô sẽ vào phần reading. Trong phần này thì cô sẽ đọc 3 lần, sau đó thì các em sẽ nghiên cứu qua bài nhá. Unit 35 Conversations. Dogs were walking by himself around on hind legs, enjoying the vivid scenery around him and reflecting on his life. He walked in a sort of peaceful trance until something snapped him out of it. Not something, it's ghostly someone. A beautiful girl with long wavy hair past her shoulders was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. That felt like his just interest or paintings. It startled her in awe. He noticed that she had this concentrate on her book, which he found adorable. He said there was something different about this girl, but he could tell was just then. Her eye left her book, and she looked directly at Dusk. Her beautiful brown eyes pictured Dusk with a look that filled him with anxiety. Why could she look at Dusk? Dusk thought to himself, they give each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden he began to panic. His hands started sweating and his heart began to race. It was time to make decisions. That wisdom taught him that he should just keep walking. A girl like this was never going to talk to him. But he felt something within him, deep inside his spirit, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible, and though if he just walks away now, there would be no serious damage. He could not move on and forget this moment ever happened. But this feeling was stubborn. It should let him walk away. He realized he could be more upset if he didn't do anything. Life's not about being constrained. One must agree to truly live. That thought to himself, he makes this decision and chooses one apprehensive step towards his goals. He must be started to realize his decisions and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but his fist keeps moving towards life. He was being pulled by some uncontrollable message force, which triggered something witty to say. He said to himself, as his mind was blank, and before he knew it, he walked close enough to the girl that he could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments, and finally he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ đọc lần thứ hai nhá. Unit 35 Conversations. Dogs were walking by himself around on hind legs, enjoying the vivid scenery around him and reflects to his life. He walked in a sort of peaceful trance until something snapped him up. In our it's not something, it's actually someone. A beautiful girl with long wavy hair Her daughter was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. That felt like he just answered a painting. He started at her inhale. He noticed that she had this concentrated gaze on her book, which he found adorable. He sensed there was something different about this girl, but he couldn't tell what. Just then, her eyes left her book, and she looked directly at us. Her beautiful brown eyes pieces that squid looked just through him with anxiety. Why would she look at me? That thought to himself. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden, he began to panic. His hands started sweating, and his heart began to race. It was time to make a decision. That wisdom told him that he should just keep walking. A girl like this could never want to talk to him. But she felt something within him, deep inside his spirit, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible, and thought if he just walked away now, there could be no serious damage. He could just move on and forget this moment ever happened. But this feeling was stubborn. It would let him go away. He realized he could be more upset if he didn't do anything. Life is not about being conservative. One must take risks to truly lie. That thought to himself, he made his decisions and chose one apprehensive step toward the girls. He immediately started to regret his decisions and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but he kept his gaze moving towards her like he was being pulled by some uncontrollable magnetic force. Quick, think of something within to say, he said to himself, but his mind was blank. And before he knew it, he was close enough to the ground that Sir could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments, and finally he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ đọc lời thầy bài nha. Year 35 conversations. That's were walking by himself around one complex, enjoying the vivid scenery around him and reflecting on his life. He was in a sort of peaceful trance until something snapped him out of it. Not something, it was actually someone's. A beautiful girl with long wavy hair past her shoulders was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. That felt like he just entered a painting. He stared at her again. He noticed that she had this concentrated gaze on a book which he found adorable. He sensed there was something different about this girl, but he could say what. Just then, her eye left her book, and she looked directly at us. Her beautiful brown eyes pieces that with a look that filled him with a serious. Why could she look at me? That thought to himself. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden, he began to panic. His hands started sweating, and his heart began to race. It was time to make a decision. That wisdom taught him that he should just keep walking. A girl like this could never want to talk to him. But he felt something within him, deep inside his spirit, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible and thought if he just walked away now, there would be no serious damage. He could just move on and forget this moment ever happened. But this feeling was stubborn, which could let him walk away and realize he could be more obsessed if he didn't do anything. Life is not about being conservative. One must take risk is truly life. That's all to himself. He makes his decision and chose apprehensive. Step towards the worst. The must started to realize his decision and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I stuck under these idiots? He thought to himself, but he kept moving towards her like he was being pulled by some uncontrollable magnetic quiz. Think of something within to say, he said to himself, but his mind was blank, and before he knew it, he was close enough to the ground that he could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments, and finally he never managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Thì đổi bây giờ cô đã đọc xong 3 lượt thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho các em thời gian để các em nghiên cứu qua bài nhá. Mọi người có nhãn mọi người. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ để phần 2 phần từ vựng nhá. Adorable. Đáng yêu. Adhere. Trưởng thành. Anger. Phẫn nộ. ST. Lo lắng. Apprehensive. Lo lắng. Fear. Râu. Beginner. Người bắt đầu. Behavior. Cách cư xử. Conservative. Bảo thủ. Nervous. Lo lắng. Panic. Hoảng sợ. Perform. Lừa quá. Personal. Nhân viên. Reliable. Đáng tin cậy. Selfish. Ích kỷ. Sense. Khả năng phán đoán. Sensible. Thấu tình đạt lý. Serious. Nghiêm trọng. Spirit. Tinh thần. Wisdom. Sáng suốt. Wise. Khôn ngoan. Witty. Dí dỏm. Rồi, thì đó là toàn bộ từ mới của ngày hôm nay. Thì bây giờ các cô sẽ cho các em thời gian để chép vào vở nhá. Sau đó thì cô sẽ hướng dẫn cách phát âm cho mọi người. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ hướng dẫn cách phát âm của từng từ nhé. Adorable, đáng yêu. Deal, trưởng thành. Anger, phẫn nộ. Safety, lo lắng. Bad, râu. Beginner, người bắt đầu. Apprehensive, lo lắng. Behavior, cách cư xử. Conservative, bảo thủ. Panic, hoảng sợ. Nervous, lo lắng. Perform, nước quá. Personal, nhân viên. Reliable, đáng tin cậy. Selfish, ích kỷ. Stance, khả năng phán đoán. Sensible, thấu tình đạt lý. Serious, nghiêm trọng. Spirit, tinh thần. Wisdom, sáng suốt. Wise, khôn ngoan. Witty, dí dỏm. Bây giờ cô sẽ đọc mỗi từ 3 lần và các em sẽ đọc theo cô nhá. Adorable, adorable, adorable. Adult, 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 adult. Anger, anger, anger. Assertive, assertive, assertive. Apprehensive, apprehensive, apprehensive. Bird, bird. Beginner, beginner, beginner. Behavior, behavior, behavior. Conservative, conservative, conservative. Nervous, nervous, nervous. Panic, panic, panic. Perform, perform, perform. Personal, personal, personal. Reliable, reliable, reliable. Selfish, 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 selfish. Sense, sense, sense. Sensible, sensible, sensible. Serious, serious, serious. Spirits, spirits, spirits. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Wise, wise, wise. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Adorable, đáng yêu. Adult, adult, trưởng thành. Anger, phẫn nộ. Anxiety, lo lắng. Beer, râu. Beginner, người bắt đầu. Anxiety, lo. Apprehensive, lo lắng bằng từ anxiety mà nó cũng bằng từ nervous, nghĩa là lo lắng. Behavior, cư xử. Conservative, bảo thủ. Panic, hoảng sợ. Perform, nước quá. Personal, nhân viên. Reliable, đáng tin cậy. Selfish, ích kỷ. Sense, khả năng phán đoán. Sensible, thấu tình đạt lý. Serious, nghiêm trọng. Spirit, tinh thần. Wisdom, sáng suốt. Wise, khôn ngoan. Witty, dí dỏm. Bây giờ cô sẽ cho các em thời gian để đọc lại phần pronunciation của ngày hôm nay. Thì sau đó chúng ta sẽ bước vào phần thứ ba, phần translate. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đến với phần 3 của ngày hôm nay, phần translate. Trước khi vào phần translate thì bây giờ cô sẽ đọc qua bài nhá. Giri's 35 conversations that were walking by himself around one lake. Enjoys the vivid sceneries around him and reflects things on his life. He walked in the shadows of peaceful trance until something snapped him out of it. Not something, it's actually someone's. A beautiful girl with long, wavy hair past her shoulder. Was she thinks on a bench reading a book by herself. That's realized his interest in paintings. He stares at her in awe. He notices that he has his constrained gaze on her both which he saw adorable. He sensed there was something different about this girl, but she could tell what. Then he eyelaid her boobs and she looked directly at her, at that. Her beautiful brown eyes pieces that with the look that filled him with anxiety. Why could she look at me? That thought to himself. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. Oh, but suddenly he began to panic. His hands started sweating and his throat began to race. It was time to make a decision. That wisdom told him that he should just keep walking again like he could never want to talk to him. But he felt something within him, deep inside spirit, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible, dance, and thought if he just walked away now, there could be no remains. He could just move on and forget this moment ever happened. But this feeling was too bad. It won't let him walk away. He realized he could be more upset if he didn't do anything. Life is not about being caused by this. One must take risks to truly live. That thought to himself, he makes his decisions and took one apprehensive step towards the girls. He immediately started to realize his decisions and took one apprehensive step towards the girls. That immediately started to realize his decisions and took one apprehensive step towards the girls. He immediately started to realize his decisions and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but he kept moving towards her like he was being pulled by some uncontrollable magnetic forces. Quick, think of something witty to say. He says to himself, but he might go blank, and before he knew it, he was glowing up to the girl that he could smell her lovely perfume. I stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments, and finally he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Thì đó là cái phần dịch của chúng ta ngày hôm nay. Thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho các bạn thời gian thử dịch của văn bản, sau đó thì cô sẽ chữa bài nhá. Bây giờ thì chúng ta tiếp tục với phần 3, phần translate. Thì với phần 3 này thì bây giờ cô sẽ dịch văn bản này nhá. Thus, walking by himself around one Kim Lake, enjoying the vivid scenery around him and reflecting on his life. Đạt đang đi dạo quanh hồ Hoàn Kiếm, ngắm nhìn khung cảnh xung quanh khung cảnh sặc sỡ xung quanh và ngẫm nghĩ về cuộc đời mình. He walked in a sort of peaceful trance until something snatched him out of it. Not something. It was actually someone. A beautiful girl with long wavy hair past her shoulder was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. Anh dạo bước trong tâm trạng thư thái lạ thường cho đến khi thứ gì đó làm anh giật mình. Không, phải nói là một ai đó mới đúng. Một cô gái xinh đẹp với mái tóc gợn sóng dài quả vai đang ngồi trên ghế đọc một cuốn sách. That feel like he's just interested in painting. He studies at her a girl. He noticed that she has this constrained gowns. Her book which he found adorable. He said there was something different about this girl, but she could tell was Đạt cảm thấy như mình vừa lạc vào một bức tranh. Anh nhìn cô thật kỹ trong sự trầm trồ. Anh thấy cách cô nhìn chăm chú vào cuốn sách thật là đáng yêu. Anh cảm thấy được điều gì đó thật khác biệt về cô gái này, nhưng anh không thể nói rõ đó là gì. Just dance. Her eye left her book and she looked directly at Dad. Her beautiful brown eyes visited Dad with a look at Dad. Fill him with anxiety. Why does she look at me? Dad thought to himself. Ngay sau đó, đôi mắt của cô rời khỏi quyển sách và nhìn thẳng vào Đạt. Đôi mắt nâu xinh đẹp của cô ấy nhìn Đạt khiến anh tràn ngập hạnh phúc. Tại sao cô ấy lại nhìn mình? Đạt thầm nghĩ. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden, he began to panic. His hands started sweating, and his heart began to race. It was hard to make the decisions. That wisdom told him that he should just keep walking a good life. This could never want to talk to him, but he felt something within him, living inside spirits, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible and sure. If he just walked away now, there would be no terror to the maze. He could just move on and forget this moment ever happened. Họ nhìn nhau một lúc và Đạt cảm thấy thời gian như ngừng trôi. Đột nhiên anh thấy vui, bàn tay anh đang đổ mồ hôi và tim đập mạnh. Đã đến lúc phải ra quyết định. Lý trí của anh Đạt nói rằng anh nên tiếp tục bước đi, bởi một cô gái như vậy sẽ không bao giờ muốn nói chuyện với anh. Nhưng anh cảm thấy điều gì đó bên trong mình. Trong tâm trí nói với anh rằng anh phải bắt chuyện với cô ấy. Anh vẫn cố gắng tập trung và nghĩ rằng anh bước đi ngay bây giờ sẽ không có tổn thương nào nghiêm trọng xảy ra. Anh vẫn có thể tiếp tục cuộc sống của mình. Và coi như chưa từng có khoảnh khắc này. But this feeling was stubborn. As could let him walk away, he realized he could be more obsessed if he didn't do anything. Life not about being conservative. One must take risks to truly live. That's up to himself. He makes his decision and chooses one comprehensive step towards the goals. He mastered studies to realize his decision and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but this will keep moving towards realized he was being fooled by some uncontrollable magnetic force, which think of just something witty to say, he says to himself, but his mind was blank. And before he knew, he was close enough to the gun that he could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments. And finally, he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. That's những cảm thấy thật là thú vị, nó không thể để anh bước tiếp. Anh nhận ra rằng mình sẽ vui hơn khi nếu mình không làm gì. Cuộc sống không phải lúc nào cũng nên bảo thủ, người ta phải liều lĩnh mới thực sự là sống. Đã thầm nghĩ, anh quyết định và bước tới gần cô gái. Anh ngay lập tức cảm thấy hối hận về quyết định của mình và bắt đầu lo lắng. Mình đang làm cái gì thế này? Tại sao mình lại ngu ngốc như vậy? Anh thầm nghĩ, nhưng đôi chân của anh vẫn đi di chuyển về phía cô gái tựa như bị kéo bởi một lực từ không kiểm soát được. Nhưng anh phải mong nghĩ ra điều gì đó thật dí dỏm. Anh tự nhủ, nhưng tâm trí anh trống rỗng. Và trước khi kịp nhận ra, anh đã tới gần với cô gái để có thể thấy mùi nước hoa đáng yêu của cô. Anh đứng đó nhìn chăm chăm vào cô ấy trong một vài khoảnh khắc lúng túng. Cuối cùng anh cũng nói trong sự lo lắng được 2 tiếng xin chào. Cô gái mỉm cười. Thì đó là cái bài dịch ngày hôm nay của chúng ta. Thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho các em thời gian để đối chiếu kết quả. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ đi vào phần thứ tư, phần speaking nhá. Đó là cảm ơn mọi người đã xem video của cô nha. chưa. Dạ. Dạ. Dạ, việc anh là đừng đi học anh à. Đấy là việc anh chỉ làm bán thời gian ở đấy thôi. Cứ đi. Hả? Chân công thì nước ở công là được. Mà giờ việc anh còn đi làm được có mấy bữa nào. Trước khi anh để đó việc anh cơ mà. Tại bữa anh đến mấy tháng thì là việc anh nghỉ hè chứ. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ vào phần thứ tư, phần speaking nhá. Trong phần này thì cũng sẽ chưa cả phát âm luôn nhá. Nhưng các bạn chú ý lắng nghe nhá. Unit 35, Conversation. Das was walking by himself while around one came lake, enjoyed the vivid scenery around him and reflecting on his life. He walked in a sort of peaceful trance until something snapped him out of it. Not something, it's gradually someone. A beautiful girl with long, wavy hair past her shoulder was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. That felt like his just interest in paintings. He studies a through air. He notices that she has this concentrated gaze on her boots, which he found adorable. He sensed there was something different about this girl, but he couldn't tell what. Just then, her eyes left her boots, and she looked directly at us. Her beautiful brown eyes visited us with a look that filled him with anxiety. Why does she look at me? That thought to himself. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden, he began to panic. His hands started sweating, and his heart began to race. It was time to make a decision. The wisdom told him that he should just keep walking. A girl like this would never want to talk to him. But he felt something within him, this inside spirit that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible and thought if he just walked away now, there would be no serious damage. He could just move on and forget the moment ever happened. But this feeling was stubborn. It would let him walk away. He realized he would be more obsessed if he didn't do anything. Life is not about being conservative or mistakes to truly life. That thought to himself, he makes his decisions and choose one upbraid his step towards the goals. He immediately started to regret his decision and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but his feet kept moving towards her life. He was being pulled by some uncontrollable magnetic force. Quick, think of something witty to say, he said to himself, but his mind was blank, and before he knew it, he was close enough to the girl that he could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few awkward moments, and finally he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Das was walking by himself around one lake, enjoyed the vivid scenery around him, and reflecting on his life. He walked in a sort of peaceful trance until something snapped him up out of it. Not something, it's actually someone. A beautiful girl with long, wavy hair past her shoulders was sitting on a bench reading a book by herself. That felt like his just interest in painting, and stared at her air. He noticed that she had this concentrated gaze on her book, which he found adorable. He sensed there was something different about this girl, but she could tell what. Just then, her eye left her book, and she looked directly at us. Her beautiful brown eye pieces that with the look that filled him the anxiety. Why would she look at me? That thought to himself. They gazed at each other for what seemed like forever. All of a sudden he began to panic. His hands started sweating and his heart began to race. It was time to make a decision. Thus, wisdom told him that he should just keep walking. A girl like this could never want to talk to him, but he felt something within him, deep inside his spirit, that told him that he must talk to her. He still tried to be sensible to thought if he just walked away now, there would be natural remains. He could just move on and forget this moment ever happened. But this feeling was too bound. It could let him walk away. He realized he could be more obsessed if he didn't do anything. Life is not about being conscious. One must take risks to truly live. That thought to himself, he made his decision and took one apprehensive step towards the girls. He immediately started to regret his decision and became filled with anger. What am I doing? Why am I such an idiot? He thought to himself, but if he kept moving towards her life, he was being pulled by some uncontrollable magnetic force. Quick, think of something witty to say, he said to himself, but his mind was blank, and before he knew it, he was close enough to the girl that he could smell her lovely perfume. He stood there staring at her for a few moments, and finally he nervously managed to say hi. The girl smiled. Thì sau khi cô đã đọc xong phần speaking thì bây giờ cô sẽ cho các em thời gian để ôn lại bài. Sau đó thì chúng ta sẽ sang với bài thứ hai nhá, trong buổi học ngày hôm nay. Hoa cẩm hồng. Tiếp. Chả đi ru không đi chơi đây. À được à. Hả? Nhớ gặp chứ đáng. Nhớ. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đến với bài số 2 trong cái buổi học ngày hôm nay nhá. Unit 36. Employee. Ở phần 1 thì cũng như cả phần trước thì chúng ta sẽ đi vào phần reading. Ở phần reading này thì cô sẽ đọc qua bài, sau đó là cô sẽ cho các em chơi cái đáng để các em nghiên cứu nhá. Unit 36. Employee. Ming was an employee of the Ring Group's corporations. He really aspires to become the CEO of the Ring Group Corporation. That's why one day, when his boss deliberately put Ming in charge of closing 10 different Winmart stores in Hanoi, he jumped on the opportunity to make a good impression with his boss. He knew this could be a very complicated assignment and Ming didn't completely understand his boss' agenda. But Ming thought that if he completed this task, he could get the promotion he desired. He thought he must stay dedicated to Wingrow's corporate with his task. Ming has a remote to travel to one Winmart which are located in the remote area, 10 kilometers outside of Hanoi. This particular Winmart didn't properly compensate the goods, so Ming company needs this store to be closed down. The next day, Ming was responsible for closing another store down. The complaint was that this store was often rude and didn't cater to their customer well. He authorized this store to be closed, and eventually, after 3 weeks, Ming closed a total of 9 Winmart stores. There was only one more on his list. The next day, Ming showed up to the store ready to close it down. But when Ming stepped into the store, he caught sight of the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. It was a first time for Ming. He approached the woman and asked to speak to the manager of his store. She raps like, "I am boss. How may I help you?" Once Ming found this out, he knew that he couldn't close his store. He was in love instead of closing the store down. Ming asked the woman on a desk and she said yes. The next day, Ming informed his boss that he has closed 9 out of the 10 stores. But that the last store did not need to be closed. His boss was furious. He told Ming that he could fire him. Julius, he closed the store. Ming thought for a second. He knew he was in love and did not want to close the store, but he was also afraid of unemployment. Finally, Ming decided not to compromise and so I resigned. Ming eventually married the woman from the store and the two opened their own store. They decided to name the store Circle K. Unit 36. Employee. Ming was an employee of the Ring Group Corporation. He daily aspires to become the CEO of the Ring Group Corporation. That's why one day, when his boss deliberately put Ming in charge of closing 10 different Winmart stores in Hanoi, he summoned the opportunity to make a distant complete understand his boss' agenda. But But Ming thought that if he completes this task, he could get the promotion he desires. He thought he must stay dedicated to being good. Cooperating with his task, Ming has the opportunity to travel to one windmass which was located in the remote area, 10 kilometers outside of Hanoi. This particular windmass didn't properly compensate their workers, so Ming coordinates this store to be closed down. The next day, Ming was responsible for closing another store down. The complaint was that this store was open rule and did not cater to their customer well. He authorized this store to be closed and eventually, after the request, Ming closed to total 9 windmass stores. There was only one more on his list. The next day, Ming showed up to the store, ready to close it down. But when Ming stepped into the store, he got sight of the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. It was a first time for Ming. He approached the woman and asked to speak to the manager of the store. She dressed like, "I am the boss. How may I help you?" Once Ming found this out, he knew that he couldn't close his store. He was in love, so instead of closing the store down, Ming asked the woman on a desk and she said yes. The next day, Ming informed his boss that he has closed 9 out of the 10 stores, but that the last store did not need to be closed. His boss was furious. He thought Ming that he could fire him. Zealous, he closed the store. Ming thought for a second. He knew he was in love and did not want to close the store, but was also fed up employment. Finally, Ming decided not to compromise and yelled, "I resign." Ming eventually married the woman from the store and just to open their own store. They decided to name the store Circle K. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ đọc lời thứ 3 nhá. Unit 36, Employee. Ming was an employee of Observing Group Corporations. He realized aspired to become the CEO of Observing Group Corporations. That's why one day, when his boss deliberately put Ming in charge of closing 10 different windmass stores in Hanoi, he saw other opportunities to make a difference completely under good impressions with his boss. He knew this could be a very complicated assignment and Ming didn't completely understand his boss' agenda. But Ming thought that if he accomplished this task, he could get the promotion he desired. He thought he must stay dedicated to vigorous cooperating with his task. Ming had the opportunity to travel to one windmass which was located in a remote area, 10 kilometers outside of Hanoi. This particular windmass didn't properly compensate their work, so Ming coordinated this store to be closed down. The next day, Ming was responsible for closing another store down. The complaint was that this store was open road and did not cater to their customer well. He authorized this store to be closed and eventually, after the request, Ming closed a total of 9 windmass stores. There was only one more on his list. The next day, Ming showed up to the store ready to close it down. But when Ming stepped into the store, he got sight of the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. It was love at first sight for Ming. He approached the woman and asked to speak to the manager of this store. She replied, "I am the boss. How may I help you?" Once Ming found it out, he knew that he could close the store. He was in love, So instead of closing the store down, mình asked the woman our address and she says. The next day, Ming informed his boss that he had closed 9 hours of the 10th store, but that the last store did not need to be closed. His boss was furious. He told Ming that he could fire him unless he closes the store. Ming thought for a second. He knew he was in love and did not want to close the store, but he was also afraid of employment. Finally, Ming decided not to compromise, and there I resigned. Ming eventually married the woman from the store, and just to open up their own store, they decided to name the store Circle K. Thì đó là cô đã đọc xong phần reading. Thì bây giờ mọi người xem có bài trước nhé, sau đó là cô sẽ đưa chúng ta vào phần thứ hai của bài ngày hôm nay. nhá. Tiếp tục với bài hôm nay chúng ta sẽ phân thứ hai, phân từ vựng nhá. Hôm nay đây chúng ta sẽ có những từ vựng nào nhỉ? Bây giờ từ vựng này. Unemployment, thất nghiệp. Specialize, chuyên môn hóa. Responsible, trách nhiệm. Resides, từ chức. Remote, xa. Opportunity, cơ hội. Desires, mong muốn. Deliberate, cân nhắc. Dedicate, cống hiến. Corporate, respond, phù hợp. Corporations, tập đoàn. Coordinate, phối hợp. Corporate, hợp tác. Contribute, đóng góp. Compromise, thỏa hiệp. Complicated, phức tạp. Cater, cung cấp thực phẩm. Compensate, bồi oan. Collect, sắp xếp. Authorize, ủy quyền, access, ước định, aspire, khao khát, agenda, những vấn đề, accomplish, hoàn thành, abolish, hủy bỏ. Thì đây là toàn bộ từ mới hôm nay của chúng ta nhá. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ cho mọi người thời gian để mọi người chép vào vở. Bây giờ thì cô sẽ hướng dẫn các cách phát âm của buổi học ngày hôm nay nhá. Unemployment, thất nghiệp. Specialize, chuyên môn hóa. Responsible, trách nhiệm. Resign, từ chức. Remote, xa. Opportunity, cơ hội. Desire, mong muốn. Deliberate, cân nhắc. Dedicate, cống hiến. Correspond, phù hợp. Corporation, tập đoàn. Coordinate, phối hợp. Cooperate, hợp tác. Contribute, đóng góp. Compromise, thỏa hiệp. Complicated, phức tạp. Cater, cung cấp thực phẩm. Compensate, bồi hoàn. Collocate, sắp xếp. Authorize, ủy quyền. Assess, ước định. Aspire, khao khát. Agenda, những vấn đề. Accomplish, hoàn thành. Abolish, hủy bỏ. Bây giờ cô sẽ đọc một từ 3 lần, đó là các em sẽ đọc theo cô nhá. Unemployment, unemployment, unemployment. Specialize, specialize, specialize. Responsible, responsible. Resign, resign, resign. Remote, remote, remote. Opportunities, opportunities. Desire, desire. Deliberate, deliberate, deliberate. Dedicate, dedicate. Correspond, correspond. Cooperation, cooperation. Coordinate, coordinate, coordinate. Cooperate, cooperate, cooperate. Contribute, contribute, contribute. Compromise, compromise, compromise. Complicated, complicated, complicated. Cater, cater, cater. Compensate, compensate, compensate. Collocate, collocate, collocate. Authorize, authorize. Assess, assess, assess. Aspire, aspire, aspire. Agenda, agenda, agenda. Accomplish, accomplish. Abolish, abolish, abolish. Thì đây là cái phần từ mới của chúng ta ngày hôm nay. Thì các em bây giờ có thể đọc qua bài, nhưng mà buổi học của chúng ta cũng đến đây là kết thúc. Thì cô rất là cảm ơn các em đã xem video của cô. Thì để mà các em có thắc mắc nào thì các em có thể comment ở dưới phần bình luận, thì cô sẽ giải đáp. Thì rất là cảm ơn mọi người.